great players. They have a great organization. And you tell them one thing.
What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Also make sure to hit that post notification bell, that way you get notified every time I post video just like this one. With the NFL draft right around the corner, the Raiders are doing their due diligence by physically meeting with all the top quarterback prospects to overall just get a better feel for the person. The Raiders have already physically met with Bryce Young, Will Levis, and yesterday we met with Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson. Now throughout the past week there have been a lot of conflicting reports and rumors about what the Raiders front office actually thinks about Anthony Richardson. These could just be strategic leaks from the Raiders front office though, as they really don't want anyone to know how they truly feel about the young prospect. But with the Raiders meeting with Anthony Richardson yesterday, and according to ESPN reporter Jeremy Fowler, the Raiders meeting with Richardson went very well. Fowler also stated the Raiders are looking hard at all quarterbacks, but they have a lot of needs, as I was told, so they're not going to stretch this issue too much and just sell out for a quarterback just yet. So really, in my opinion, the Raiders can go either way when it comes to the first round. At pick number 7, we could potentially draft a quarterback depending on how the draft board ends up falling, or we could maybe even trade up to number 3 if we absolutely love a quarterback like Anthony Richardson as a prospect. And more than likely that's going to be the quarterback that's available at number 3. Almost a guarantee that Ohio State quarterback CJ Stroud will get drafted by the Carolina Panthers at number 1. After that, Bryce Young will very likely go to the Texans. So at that point, it'll be Anthony Richardson. But the Raiders may not even trade up. Who knows? We can also trade down as well. There's so many different ways we can go about this draft. It's really just all going to depend on how these visits go with all these top quarterbacks, backed up with a film study on these players to be able to evaluate and determine whether or not it's worth taking a quarterback in the first round. Now, Anthony Richardson is definitely a very polarizing prospect. He's an ultimate boomer bust candidate. He has all the physical traits. He has a lot of potential. He's very raw in terms of his talent and his mechanics at the moment, but at the same time he's very young, 21 years of age, which allows him a bigger ceiling than other quarterbacks, I feel like, that are older in age. But really, with me, the whole issue with Anthony Richardson is going to be whether or not it's going to be wise for the Raiders to move up that far in the draft to select Anthony Richardson. Should the Raiders move up to number 3 to draft this guy? Because very likely, I don't think he's going to end up falling to number 7. It seems like the hype and the stock has completely risen on Anthony Richardson throughout these past couple months. Not only that too, the Indianapolis Colts select at pick number 4, and I think most definitely they are gonna select a quarterback at number 4, whether that be Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. So more than likely at this point, I think the Raiders are gonna have to give up premium draft capital to move up to number 3 right before the Colts select. And let's kind of talk about what I think it may take to move up that far in the draft. Look, I'd say at the bare minimum to move up to number 3, we would have to obviously give up our first round pick this year, our 7th rounder, basically swap those picks. We'd have to give up our 2nd round pick this year, and we're also going to have to give up a premium draft pick next season. More than likely they're going to ask for our 1st round pick. And look, next year's 2024 1st round pick, that pick holds an extreme amount of value in my opinion, since the Raiders, look, if I'm being totally realistic, there's a good chance that the Raiders miss the playoffs once again next season. Now I will say it's still very early before I make any predictions, but let's be honest, that's a legit possibility, and the Raiders could end up having a high draft pick next season once again. And next year's draft class is absolutely filled with great quarterback prospects. So in my opinion, that 1st rounder next year holds a lot of value. So would it be a good idea to trade this for Anthony Richardson and move up to number 3? Me personally, if Anthony Richardson, to start, I haven't really been the biggest fan of Anthony Richardson, but I understand why a lot of people are looking closely into him, why the possibility of him getting drafted to the Raiders you know, it's legit. But at the same time, if Richardson to me, if he does not fall into our laps, if he does not fall to number 7, I'm not making the move to move up in the draft for the biggest gamble when it comes to the quarterback position in this year for the draft. You know, I already think it's a big risk with us drafting him at number 7 if he falls. And on top of that, we have to give up premium draft capital for him. You know, me personally, I'm fine. I don't really think we're in a position to give up a whole lot of draft capital for a quarterback at this point in time. But the Raiders will still meet with a few other quarterback prospects, as we're gonna meet with Ohio State quarterback CJ Stroud, Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker, who he may be a guy we end up drafting too. Maybe we move up in the late first round. You know, maybe best case scenario if he falls to the second round, that's definitely, I would not be surprised if we drafted Hendon Hooker as well. And Fresno State quarterback Jake Haener. So we'll just have to see how these meetings go. But overall, it's going to be interesting to see what route the Raiders will go in this year's first round. As I mentioned, they can go in a multitude of different ways. It just depends on how their evaluations go with these quarterbacks and whether or not they think it's worth the risk of drafting somebody in the first round. But let me know what you guys think. What do you guys want the Raiders to do in the first round? Do you guys want us to draft a quarterback, or do you want us to go defense in the first? Let me know. But that being said, that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.